Saddle up, saddle up, saddle up, saddle up, saddle up. This is the story of 26 men who rode the Arizona Territory. High is the glory of 26 men whose courage helped to build the territory. 26 men who saddled up and then rode out to answer duty's call. 26 men who lived to ride again and fight for the rights and the liberty of all. This is the story of 26 men enforcing law within the territory. Praise be the glory of 26 men who rode the Arizona Territory. Ride on, ride on, ride on.
By 1900, the Daltons were gone, Tombstone was dying, and the hostile Apache had long since laid down his arms. Still, here and there in the territory of Arizona, memory was too strong, and old hatreds remained. Whenever they could, the Arizona Rangers tried to help men forget.
You Indians clear out now. You're blocking the stairs. Go on, move.
They're waiting for Black Eagle, Mr. Lawson.
So are you, aren't you, Nancy?
Yes.
I haven't seen you this prettied up in ages. You know, I remember when you was in pigtails. You used to take up for Black Eagle at school, and church picnics and so forth. We oldsters used to chuckle about it. You was like a young hen caring after a stray pup. Maybe it's different now, huh?
Maybe.
I'll bet your father doesn't know you're down here to meet this Indian.
On the contrary, Mr. Lawson, if he weren't ailing, he'd be here with me. Odd that he should be the one to forget his hatred. He lost 2 brothers to the Apache. You only lost the use of an arm.
Well, even the sheriff's out to meet the conquering hero. Hello, Nancy.
Hello.
Don't tell me you're down here to meet him, too, Riding.
Sure I am. Black Eagle and I fought our way up San Juan Hill together.
Now, this isn't Cuba. No Apache's going to be a hero around here. Did you hear what old man Alder did?
Yes. Left his land to his adopted son, Black Eagle, instead of his blood son, Dope.
Well, it's not going to hold up. No Indian can own land.
Who said so?
The law. I've been talking to the local judge.
Well, maybe he's just as prejudiced as you and the rest of the people around here.
We have cause. Go read the markers in our graveyard sometime. 49 of them in a single day in the same massacre.
That was 25 years ago, Wade.
Well, no matter. Tombstones make ugly reminders.
Then I suggest you ride out to the Apache burial ground and count the ugly mounds on top of slaughtered braves.
Hey, John.
Jimmy Blue Jay.
You do all right, soldier. Here, Shiwataba says you win Coachie's headdress.
And here's the latest war box.
Come on, you Indians. You're holding up the mail.
Good to see you, Mr. Lawson. Nancy, Captain Reining.
Long time since Havana, John. Here, let me help you with these things.
You're very handsome in your uniform, John.
Well, you two have a lot to catch up on. Get going. Oh, and John, first chance you have, drop by headquarters.
You know it, Captain. Did you get the marker?
It's in the back.
sure kept the place looking nice, Nancy.
I hired one of the neighbors after Mr. Alder passed away to look after things. Your horse is still doing fine.
He must be 15 anyway. Nancy, how did Doak take it all?
Nobody's heard.
I felt kind of bad about him being cut out. If he wants to come back, I'll go 50-50 with him. We can run the ranch together.
He's no good, John. He hasn't shown his face since he ran off with that bunch of rowdies to duck the military. I wrote him a letter 2 years ago that your dad was ailing. He didn't even answer it. If it hadn't been for the money you sent home, your dad couldn't have got by his last 6 months. We finally located him after your father died.
Hello, Doak.
And howdy, Black Eagle. Say, that was mighty touching you bringing over that marker. Sure glad you brought your buckboard, because your stuff's all ready to load. Oh, you'll have to pardon Jorgens over there. He kind of took a fancy to your old horse. My, he sure did grow it up. Why, I remember the night when Pa brought him in from the hills. He sure did smell fierce. Was always smart, though. Even took up calling himself John after the old man. Why, I hear tell he used to send home 10-cent checks just to keep in good graces with the old man.
You and these men are trespassing, Doak.
I've already talked with the judge, see? The old man couldn't have possibly willed you this land even if he wanted to, because he was out of his mind when he filed those papers. Now, you get your gear and get.
Go on back to town, Nancy.
What about you?
I'll take my horse. Go on. I'll meet you.
I never saw such confusing laws, rulings, counter-rulings, and mishmash. State laws are in conflict with federal laws. They all vary from territory to territory. Indian land tenure. Well, I went through that one at the Office of Indian Affairs. This one goes into the Dawes Act, 1887. At least it sets the stage for Indians being able to own property.
Can Black Eagle keep the land his old man left him?
No.
I bumped into Doc Hadley passing through town. Black Eagle's not taking this so lightly.
Why do you say that?
He just had a run-in with Doak Alder and the boys.
When did Doak get back?
I don't know, but he's set to fight for that land. Black Eagle punctured one of his boys with a bayonet.
John! Hello. Good to see you. You know Clint Travis.
Hello, Clint.
Hello, Black Eagle.
Sit down.
I'll check with you later, Captain.
The land's mine, Captain. Mr. Alder meant for me to have it.
You'll get it eventually.
Why not now?
There are certain unfair, antiquated laws on the books, John.
The laws let me fight.
And a future law will let you take title to the property. There's legislation pending before Congress right now.
If it doesn't pass, then Doak owns the land?
No, there's an interim solution to this, John. I'm going to consult the circuit judge. He's over at Jerome.
If Doak squats on that land and claims it's his, I know what the decision will be.
John, you can't settle this by forcing a showdown. It'll take some time.
Until it's settled, I have just as much right to live out there as he has.
I'm not denying that.
The local judge is.
Well, he can be overruled. An Indian's right to own land is bigger than you or any biased judge in Cottonwood. Let's establish your right legally. If you go out there again pushing a gunfight, you'll rouse this town and stir up a lot of old buried hatreds that could very well hamper the efforts of people who are trying to promote Indian welfare. Face it, what you do will draw attention. Sergeant John Black Eagle Alder is a pretty famous name. Theodore Roosevelt pinned that medal on you.
He said if you're right, fight for it. Don't turn tail.
Then make sure you're right, John. And don't do anything to discredit that uniform.
No, sir. I won't.
Well, I don't know if I can rightly defend myself, Sheriff, with his bad hand.
Well, we'll see you don't have to.
I should have stuck to railroading. This gun feels clumsy. No special like the balance of this one.
Black Eagle fired at you point blank.
So help me, did Judge.
Those medals have gone to his head. He's gun happy.
Possession is 9 points of the law, Doak. Hang on to that lamb. And if he sues for a court ruling, I'll judge the facts. And don't worry, I haven't had a decision reversed in 15 years.
There he is now.
There's no sense of pressing charges, Sheriff. He just got out of the Army. Let's give him a break.
That's a decent attitude, Doak. Let's go talk to Black Eagle.
How come you didn't want him arrested?
And locking him up don't do no good.
Well, the sheriff says quiet his claims. Well, I know how to quiet him. Come on.
I'd like a cold glass of beer. I said I'd like a cold glass of beer.
You're not in Cuba now, soldier. Don't you know it's against the law to serve drinks to Indians?
I'd forgotten.
Black Eagle, by coming back here, you're only asking to be hurt. Go back and re-enlist. You made a place for yourself in the Army. You can be happy.
I can be happy ranching.
Not on the alder land.
We'll see, Your Honor.
Black Eagle. John, you should wait. Let the court decide.
Court's already decided. The judge said possession is 9 points of the law. So I'm going to be in possession.
Please, don't.
It's the only thing I know to do now.
Black Eagle? I'm warning you.
I'm a naturalized citizen, Sheriff. I've got a right to protect myself and my property. Don't mess with me.
Orville? Better go round up some men.
Captain Riney, John's gone to the Alder Ranch. Doak's men are waiting for him. They'll kill him.
Let's get out there.
shot at?
He's not out there.
Well, just don't stand there. Let go!
What happened to them two in the kitchen? He picked Willie off in the back of the house.
How about Luke?
He's done.
He got Charlie killed.
I can see that bunch took San Juan Hill. I'm scooting.
Come here. Hey, Sheriff, take cover! That crazy Indian's in the house!
How'd he get in there?
He took a run and jumped through that second-story window.
He must be full of that firewater. He come storming in there, killed 4 of my men even before we had a chance to strap on our guns.
Black Eagle, you come out of there. We're coming in.
You got a search warrant, Sheriff?
You come out of there now and come out peaceable. And you might not hang.
Hold your fire. I'll get him. Thanks. Now you've got to be right. The problem is to keep you alive until I can prove it. You can't hold the town off from here. And if I turn you loose, there'll be a price on your head and 200 men out to get it. So I'm placing you under arrest.
Why?
Because I've got a lot of ground to cover, no time to argue with the stubborn Apache. Now give me your guns. Sheriff, I'm going over to the county seat, get things set for a trial. I'll be back before nightfall.
We want to do this ourselves and do it fast, Riding. Hold out your hand.
It's the law, John.
Rangers always turn their prisoners over to the nearest local official.
Go on, John.
Travis, you stick with him. Miss Carter?
Soldier. One more move like that, and I'll lock you in the same cell with him. I bet he'd like that.
Your Honor.
Excellent. There'll be no more drinking in here. This is a court of law.
Here, put them glasses down here. Well, I'll go get the prisoner.
Just a second. We're to wait for Captain Reining. Why? Because he went for the circuit court judge? Nobody said he had gone for the circuit court judge.
We don't need no new evidence in this court.
See here, young man, this trial is not about land. Black Eagle's been charged with murder.
And we got the prisoner, we got the witnesses, and we got the evidence.
The need for immediate action was more than urgent. The territorial governor was my only solution. I hoped I'd be in time to save a man whose case was decided before the trial started.
Orville, you can take that clerk's seal and the guns over to court. Black Eagle, you should have listened to the judge. Now you're going to get tried and legally hung before Reining ever gets back.
Nancy, give me your horse.
Stand trial, Black Eagle.
No.
If you run away, we'll fight for you. That isn't good. Give me your gun.
Friends, it's a pleasure to be here in Cottonwood. I've come to sit in. I'm sure what you realize, it's a very important hearing. As a matter of fact, I should say justice is on trial in this town. Oh, Sergeant Alder, this must be. Sergeant, an extreme pleasure.
I'm honored, Governor.
And this is Judge...
Ellis, Wilburton Ellis.
Oh, yes, of course. You're up for reappointment, aren't you?
Yes.
I've appointed Captain Reining here, public defender. Now, before we start the trial, I like to say it is an extreme pleasure to be, yes, of course, Reining.
We're raising funds for a new courthouse.
No apologies. I've heard cases in barnyards.
While murder is the gravest charge to be weighed here, the charge itself depends upon who is trespassing on whose land. So we must settle ownership of the Alder land first.
Not necessarily ownership, Your Honor. The right to occupy. This paper was filed by Jonathan Alder 6 months before he died. I managed to trace it to where Mr. Alder filed it at the county seat.
Jonathan Alder disowned his legitimate son, Doak Alder, denying him any and all right and claim whatsoever to his land and earthly possessions.
He never did.
County clerk sent you a copy of the paper.
Well, I never got it.
How can you get it bouncing around from jail to jail?
This paper is Jonathan Alder's last will and testament.
It says, by whatever legal means necessary, John Black Eagle Alder is to own, keep, hold, live on, and forever enjoy my land.
If you were his attorney, Your Honor, how would you arrange such a matter?
Well, I'd give him a lease for life to the land, pending modification of federal laws to permit Indians to own property. And at such time, Black Eagle could file for deed.
I agree entirely.
Son, did those boys do any damage to your property?
Nothing to speak of, Sheriff.
All charges against John Black Eagle Alder were completely dismissed. And the decision rendered by the court was that the defendant had just cause in shooting some of Doak Alder's men in defense of his life and property.
Friends of Cottonwood, I want to say now, while I have an opportunity, I've long planned to visit Cottonwood with the idea...
He rehearsed that speech all the way over here. I don't think I'm staying for this performance.
I'm with you, Captain.
This is the story of 26 men who rode the Arizona Territory. High is the glory of 26 men whose courage helped to build the territory. 26 men who saddled up and then rode out to answer duty's call. 26 men who lived to ride again and fight for the rights and the liberty of all. This is the story of 26 men enforcing law within the territory. Praise be the glory of 26 men who rode the Arizona Territory. Ride on.